All right, so we're diving into something really heavy this time. Apalachee High School, Georgia, September 4th.
Yeah, that school shooting, it's heartbreaking.
It's one of those stories that it stays with you. A 14-year-old kid, Colt Gray, opens fire, kills two classmates, two teachers.
And it makes you wonder, what could lead someone so young to do something like that? What could possibly?
Exactly. And that's where this deep dive takes a turn. Colt's mother, Marcee Gray, she's facing some serious charges herself.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that. What kind of charges?
Well, the big one is exploitation of an elderly person, but there are other charges too.
Exploitation, you mean like elder abuse?
Kind of. It's a broad term, covers a lot of ground. Basically, it's about protecting vulnerable adults, anyone 65 or older, from harm. Physical, emotional, financial, you name it.
So how does this relate to Colt's mom?
Well, the victim in her case, it was her own 74-year-old mother. Back in November of the previous year, she allegedly taped her mother to a chair.
Oh my gosh, to a chair.
I know, it's awful. Left her there for almost 24 hours. And it gets even more disturbing. After that, she drove to confront her ex-husband, the one who had custody of Colt and his siblings.
Oh.
Seems like there was a history of, maybe some volatility there.
Wow. So this wasn't just an isolated incident. It makes you think about those red flag laws.
Exactly. If authorities had known about this back then, about the way she treated her own mother, I mean, those laws exist for a reason, right?
Yeah.
To keep guns away from people who are clearly a danger to themselves or others.
It's a complicated issue. Those laws have their critics, but...
For sure. But in this case, Marcee actually called the school the morning of the shooting. She got a text from Colt that just said, "I'm sorry," and she panicked, tried to warn them.
What happened? Did they?
We don't know all the details yet, but it does make you question, did the school miss something? Could they have done more?
It's tough. Schools, they're walking a tightrope, balancing student safety with limited resources, privacy concerns, and the whole challenge of assessing these kind of threats. It's not always clear-cut.
Absolutely. And to make things even more complicated, Colt's father, Colin Gray, is facing involuntary manslaughter charges.
Wait, what? The father, too?
Yeah, it all comes down to access to the firearm. The rifle Colt used, it belonged to his dad. Basically, the law says the father was negligent, and that negligence led to those deaths.
So much tragedy. It just goes to show there's no easy answer here, no single solution. It's this complex mix of mental health, responsible gun ownership, family dynamics.
Everything. It's all connected. And this case just shows just how deep those connections really go.
It makes you think, what can we do as a society to prevent tragedies like this?
It's a conversation we can't afford to ignore. If this case teaches us anything, it's that this is everyone's problem. We have to be willing to have those tough conversations at home, in schools, in our communities.
Exactly. We all have a role to play in facing this.
Yeah.
It's not just about laws or policies. It's about understanding the warning signs, about looking out for each other. It's about creating a culture of support and responsibility.
It's about taking action. Because this can't just be another news story we forget about. This has to be a turning point.
It has to be, for all of us.